Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to grecochess, the channel of chess. I'm your host. My name is Karilos Aniziris, and we continue facing the chess.com bots. If you've seen the previous videos, we have been able to defeat, although not very easily, all the bots with ratings until 1700, and now we start facing the 1800 bots. And let's first share the screen with you. And here we are. See the bots? Originally, we faced the beginner bots, 15 of them. No problem there. 30 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. We defeated all of them twice, once with white and once with black. Intermediates, most of them easily, but a couple of them we had to go through a few defeats. And advanced, we have been able to defeat the first 9 of them, 3 with 1500, 3 with 1600, and 3 with 1700. And now we start with 1800 bots. Each of them we are going to face twice, once with white, once with black. We'll continue until we defeat each of them, once with white and once with black. If necessary, we'll have to play again and again. Things are not so easy because if you followed my videos, my United States Chess Federation rating is 1656, way below the 1800. And in chess.com, the blitz I have is 1800 exactly. The bullets 1500. Recently, I reached 1500, and you saw the videos about that. And in the rapid, I'm trying to reach 1900. Currently, I think about 1830 or something like that. So 1800 with Lorenzo will be quite a challenge, but let's see what can we do. And Lorenzo starts by greeting us in Italian. Ciao, the Italian greeting. I've always wanted to be a king. Let's see Lorenzo, and let's see what your king is going to do. And I'm starting as usual with my pawn to e4. Let's see how lucky are we going to be today. Symmetric way, pawn to e5. Let's hope for a king's gambit or something. At your level, I'm not optimistic with a king's gambit. I'd rather go for the something, and the something is knight to f3. No, I do not like to defend. And now let's try the Scotch game. See, here it is, Scotch game. And now we're going. I like how this is going. We're going for the Scotch gambit. I'm not taking your pawn, bishop to c4. Let's see if you know how to react. Knight to f6. I'm pushing my pawn to e5. Let's see if you know how to proceed. Yes, you do. Pawn to d5. Oh, yeah, yeah. Lorenzo is a strong bot. Let me tell you that if knight goes to g4, I had, even in rated games like that, in a recent rated game, I was able to checkmate in 12 moves with my opponent messing up. In this position, you should never defend the fc knight. Instead, counter-attack the bishop at c4, but my bishop goes to b5. Let's see how well Lorenzo knows. He plays perfect. I'm going to take the pawn on d4. And now I need to take the knight at c6. Before it was pinned, but now if I don't take it, it takes my pawn on e5. I'm going to take the knight. And of course, my bishop, so when you go back, my knight is not under attack. What can I do now? Let's castle. My bishop, however, is already defended by the queen. I'd rather have more defense. I don't want to push the pawn because then the check can come out of nowhere. But what happens if the knight can only go to g5? What I want to do, can I? If I attack the knight with my pawn to f3, you can see that this knight has almost nowhere to go. Pawn takes, taken by the pawn, taken by the h pawn, taken by both my knight and my pawn, and he's lost. And the only place he can safely go if I push my pawn to f3 is go to g5. Because then if I take the bishop, queen takes back. Really, once I had not seen all the way and I thought that with pawn to f3, I'm winning the knight, but it can go back to g5. Any way I can block that way, not that I can see. And if I push my pawn to f3, the problem is that my knight on d4 is less well defended. Can I change the knight? No, I cannot put my knight on d2 because then I lose my knight on d4. And I don't want to change because I don't want the queen suddenly to be coming from g5. I'm, Let me put my pawn to c3 to give extra protection to my knight on d4. And now let's see if we can get rid of this bishop on c5. Can I get rid of the knight? Because I don't like the bishop on c5, the knight on e4. They are too well advanced. Yes, I got rid of this piece. Can I get rid of the bishop on c5? Yes, I'm attacking stack twice. It must... Oh, no, it doesn't take my bishop. Instead, it decides to go back to e7. Can I take it again with my bishop going to c5? And then I'll exchange it for my knight. Doesn't work, but then I have to be careful about my pawn. I'm going to take it on e5. The queen will attack it. Yes, I'm defending it. Attacking the bishop on f5. Attacking the queen. I don't think black can easily check. I got my pawn back. Attacking my queen. I wish I could check from here, but no luck. Okay, got my pawn back. Let's see. Material is the same. This is quite dangerous. I don't like the pressure, so change rooks maybe. If my knight goes to b5 to attack the queen, queen goes to c5 check, knight has to go back. Not the best of options. Let's change rooks. I'm supposed to be the one attacking. Ah, Lorenzo, we're both attacking each other. What can I do now? Put my rook a1 into action and try to exchange. Yes, we exchange. And we're going to a dramatic ending with queen and knight. I don't like this at all. Don't like this at all. I think Lorenzo took a pawn on h2 and attacking the pawn on g2. Can I take another pawn? The pawn on g2 is under attack. Currently, it is defended. I'm going to lose a second pawn. If no, Lorenzo doesn't want to exchange. I'm going to win the pawn on d5. You'll see how. I hope I can keep it. And also I'm taking the pawn on c7. Yes, yes, I knew it. I'm going here. I'm losing my knight. Oh, things don't go well at all. Queen goes to g5, hoping to attack the king, but I don't see any hope there, most likely. And things didn't go well at all. Lorenzo will checkmate me, yes. Victory, thanks for playing. Want to try again? I have to try a few times until I win. Let's see, the first game did not go well at all. I tried my Scotch, but unfortunately Lorenzo knows the Scotch gambit very, very well. Let's try the Spanish game. The Rui Lopez. Lorenzo defends quite well, doesn't let me take the pawn on d5. The tricks I knew for the Scotch gambit that work with rated players in Chessanti. I won, checkmated in 12 moves, and I had an also great win during the uh, United States Amateur Team East Championship in one of my games. It did not work with Lorenzo. I'm trying to develop now, still in the opening. The This is called the Rui Lopez Opening Murphy Defense Columbus Variation. That's the name. I used the Rui Lopez. I didn't know the rest of it. Can we push the pawn on d4? It's attacked once, twice, three times, and defended once. If I push the pawn, attack once, twice, three times, and defended one. Once again, let's try the arrows until I learn them. Defend once and once, twice, so it's not so safe. Let's see if we can exchange bishops and open lines, especially the f. Yes, along the f file. My rook is. Let's develop the other knight. First, develop every piece. Queen to e1 to support if my knight goes to h4. Send my knight to h4 and then to f5, I hope. No, I don't want to exchange because then I open the line for the rook at f8. Threatening checkmate. Of course, Lorenzo can defend with a knight on h5, or even that way. I'm undoubling my pawn now. No, let's go the rook to f5 and threaten the knight on f6 because of the pin. Now it's unpinned. Let's send the other rook to f1. Perhaps sacrifice the rook if necessary. Uh, if I take it back, my queen is in danger. Queen to f3. Let's see now what can we do. Anyway, I can send my knight into the attack. If I take the knight, queen takes back. And then if I take the queen, I win the pawn. Do I have a strong attack? Clearly, I have to sacrifice material in exchange for a pawn. My rook would be in f6, attacking the pawn on f7. If I send my bishop, to d5. If knight takes it, I take it back, attack the knight. Knight goes here. One takes, take. I'm not sure how strong it's going to be. And I send my bishop to c2, looking at the king, but it's... I wish I could send... Can I rearrange and put my rook on f3 and my queen on f1 or f2? Yes, I have the time. Let's rearrange and put the two rooks ahead and the queen behind. Because by doing so, queen cannot take back. Put my queen in f2 so then I can go to f1 during the attack if necessary. If bishop goes to d5, let's take the pawn. Let's start opening, even if I have to sacrifice material for that. And I'm threatening the pawn on h6. Take back the knight, threatening the pawn on h6. I have to be careful. I want my knight to join, but if it go to f3, I lose my rook. And I discover check and do nothing. Oh, yeah, I messed up. I messed up again second time. I lost a piece. Oh, la, la, sorry, I resign. And let's start one game again. Let's see if I can beat Lorenzo. Lorenzo is in a very good shape, and today I'm not in a good shape. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to have some fun seeing me lose, why not? I'm not going to take this catch. If I take the knight, pawn takes back, knight takes, and then queen comes to d4. And black is a very good position for the price of it. In fact, they leave and regain the pawn very soon. Louis Lopez again. Pin the knight on f6. Can I sacrifice my bishop for 2 pawns? Not a good idea. Bring my knight into the attack. Before have anything really happening, let's exchange the knights. Okay, Lorenzo takes with the bishop. So if my knight goes to d5, I'd like to have it there. Can I bring my queen to f3? Oh, bishop goes to g4. That's dangerous. So let's first stop the bishop from going to this bishop to g4 and attacking my queen. This pawn. Let's put my rook to b1 so the pawn on b2 is not in danger. I want to get rid of this bishop on d4 if I can. Oh, yes, Lorenzo took my pawn. Bishop goes to e5, attacking the pawn on d4. The pawn and threaten the queen on d8. Yes, I got the queen. Oh, I know what's going to happen. Oh, my two rooks are in danger. Things are not going well at all with Lorenzo. Let's attack the knight on f8. Let's isolate the pawn on e6. Let's attack the pawn on e6. If I don't take a go for the e6 pawn, then rook goes to d1. So I'm done already by an exchange. Let's see if I can win. Okay, I got this pawn. Lorenzo, I'm not going to let you take the pawn on b2. Lorenzo threatens with checkmate. Things are once again becoming really very tough because Lorenzo wants to put his rook on d1. Uh, yeah. Let me king go to g1, so I have h2 escape square. Look at that. My bishop is ready to be lost if I'm not careful. Even if I'm careful, it's going to be lost. Let's see. My bishop is nowhere to go. Let's take the pawn while I can. Take the pawn on g5. I'm one rook down. I'm supposed to be the one attacking. Yes, you're attacking, Mr. Lorenzo, even if for one moment I'm the one doing the checks. Can I push my h pawn? Can I attack any of your pawns? I'm already a rook down. Take the one pawn, but clearly with one rook less, I have no luck. Can I win your rook if you do anything crazy like the... No, because this will come with a check. And time once again to resign. I don't think today is a good day for me. We'll try again with Lorenzo. How many times will I need? This time I'm going for the Italian opening. I'm not going for either the Rui Lopez or for the Scotch. Italian opening. Symmetric way. Pin the knight. Develop the other knight. Keep the pin. And now double attack on the knight. threaten the queen. I'm already down a piece. What I want to do, can I take the f7 pawn? I'm going to put my queen to f3, go for the f7 pawn. I don't think it's going to be so easy. And exchange, now I'm going to check from h5. What will Lorenzo do? You hide the king. Can I castle queen side so I can bring my pieces, my two rooks there? What I want to do is bring my rooks along the f file. I want to open the f file. Mary goes to f1 and attacks the queen. I want to kick out the knight on e5 so I can put my rook on f7. Easier said than done. My rook will go to f3, no? Okay, put my knight on f3, see if I can win one of these two pieces. This could be a check, but if I take it, there is a discover check. I don't want to discover check. I'm going to take the knight. I'm attacking the queen. Queen cannot take my bishop because rook takes queen. Will that work? Let's see. Of course not. I lost my queen. Time to resign. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to go through that. It's not my day today. I'm resigning once again, and we'll continue a few times, see if we can win. Otherwise, we'll continue some other day when I'm in a better shape. This happens in chess. Sometimes you're good days, sometimes you're not. Let's try the Italian once again. No, the Italian we said. Bishop to c4. This is the Italian game. This is the Italian game, the Duke piano game, various funny names. Pawn to c3 to follow with pawn to d4. My pawn on e4 is in danger. Let's defend it. Pin the knight on f6. Keep the pin. I'm not sure if it's a good idea or should exchange. Let's get double attack. I wouldn't get the pawn. Change queens. So how will... oh, Lorenzo took back with the king. So no castling for Lorenzo. Let me save my bishop, and then I'm going, if I can take the pawn on f7. Lorenzo decides to... not only takes, threatens my... Currently no, because my bishop defends. Takes the pawn on f7. Castle. And then I'm going for the pawn on e5 if I can get it. Once again, easier said than done. Double the pawns, take the pawn on the in e6. Can I take the pawn on e5? It seems so. I take with the knight, I'm threatening check on c6. No, but the bishop will defend. Let me attack the bishop with my knight. Attack this bishop here. Where can it go? Now I'm checking. I want the pawn good. Check again, save my knight. Believe it or not, I'm ahead in material finally. Okay, let's again defend the pawn c4, so my knight on d2 doesn't need to get stuck here. Of course, bishop attacks, but attacks both my rook and my knight. Fortunately, my knight is defended by my bishop on c3. Two knights defend each other. And I'm also attacking the bishop on d4. What should I do now? I'm ahead by +2. Let's see. Both sides have two rooks, three light pieces, and I have 6 pawns versus 4. So if I can exchange everything, I should be winning. But can I? Can I? I double my rooks. How? Can I force an exchange with my bishop being on d4? I'm attacking the bishop on e6. Yes, I exchange the one pair of bishops. Good. Let's exchange now the rooks. I want to exchange because I'm 2 pieces ahead. And if I can keep it like that, I'm winning. I want to give freedom to my bishop. I don't want to lose my pawn. Okay. Will Lorenzo go for the draw? After all these losses, if I can get the draw, why not? But I'm 2 points ahead. Can I push my pawn? A3. Let's see if I can push it. Push it to A4. Take my pawn if you want. I have a wonderful. I'm again +2. I'm going now to win your bishops. You see how. One more exchange. We are one step near the hopefully successful ending. See if we can exchange rooks. Yes. And now I have bishop +6 pawns versus knight and 4. Can I win the pawn on a7? I got it. Can I push my a pawn? I'm losing a. Can I take the pawn on c7? Got it, and protect most of my... If I exchange everything, I have 3 versus 2 on the king side. So yes. If Lorenzo wants to exchange, I have advantage on the king side. Can I win the g4 pawn? I got it. Let's push the h pawn. If Lorenzo wants to exchange on b6, I'm fine with that. If he wants to use his knight to take any of my pawns here, I'm also fine. Bishop and pawn can win it. Now I cannot lose. I'm going to promote the pawn on my g pawn, and if Lorenzo decides to challenge, I'm promoting my a pawn. Make sure I don't stalemate here. Nope, it's a check. Now we're going for the mate. I want Lorenzo to go away. So Lorenzo, yes, has to go down. Going to push my a pawn. Promote second queen. And with a check. Now, there is a chance for stalemate if I put my bishop on d4, which I'm not going to do. Because Lorenzo can only go to the d2 square. In fact, my bishop will go as far away as possible. So Lorenzo has a square, good. And needs checkmate. And believe it or not, I think it's the 4th attempt. Let's see how many attempts did we need. We're going to go to the history because I lost count of how many attempts. Game history. Bots. And with Lorenzo, we lost 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and we won the 5th time. It shows that things will become really tough from now on. I don't want the video to be too long, but we defeated Lorenzo, even though on the 5th attempt. I think this is the toughest spot we've ever had until now. The next spot will, excuse me, the next video, not the next spot, will face Lorenzo with the black pieces. See what can we do. Now game started really becoming very exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I hope you had some nice fun watching me struggle and needing 5 attempts to defeat Lorenzo, but finally we did it. Next video, facing Lorenzo with the black pieces. Thanks everybody for watching, the viewers, the subscribers, the likes and the comments. This is grecochess. I'm your host, Harry Lasaniziris. And no, I'm not going to edit the games. I'm going to show the video, all 5 of them, both my 4 losses and my wonderful win in the end. Perhaps when I have some time, I may go through the games and analyze and see what we did. This is grecochess. I'm your host, Harry Lasaniziris. To all of you, goodbye.